What's up, traders? This is Matt with Conservative Trades. Certainly hope everybody's doing all right today. Pretty decent day in the markets today. Not really too much to brag about here. And then ending the day up $113.18, probably, I don't know, 80, 90 bucks after fees and commissions. As you can see, we didn't really trade too many shares here. I really just I was very careful with trading today. You can see here on the order book, the very first trade I took was 10 minutes in, and I just may start doing it this way from here on out for a while. One thing that we did talk about yesterday, for those of you who caught yesterday's video, is right now we are in a place where when the market opens up, the chop is just incredible. It's incredible. Stocks and trades they're just not behaving the way that they typically would. Not at the morning open, and I'm not saying with all stocks. Obviously, if you've been following the channel long enough, you've heard me make decipher the difference between the small cap, low float stocks and the mid caps and the large caps, because there is a difference. A lot of the low floaters have been doing very well, and it's kind of been one of those things where it would have been nice to maybe just stick to trying to trade low float stocks in the last couple of months. I probably would have actually ended up doing a lot better, but that's hindsight, and nobody could have ever predicted that. But so when I say that it's been a big chop fest, and even with low floats, even there's some low floats that it's been really choppy with them, but these mid caps, these large cap stocks, I mean, when you're coming out the gates, I mean, just look at this. Look at this. If we expand this chart here on Boeing, and this is the 5-minute chart, so, but look at the wicks, and look at this, going up here, going down here. Who was it that marked out levels here? Wait, let me see, where were we? Here we go. Is this 930? Yep. Yeah. So who marked out these levels here, where they said, you know what? If it breaks this level, we're probably going to get some momentum to the downside. But what happens? It broke that level, but then got bought right back up. And how many people, I wonder, who said to themselves, well, if it comes back and it holds VWAP, I'm going to go long because this is going to, this will be a good long play. Well, it went up, and then you see the massive sell-off, and then it came down. And then how many people, how many people got in here, and then they saw, man, it's not clearing VWAP, it's coming down, I'm going to go ahead and get in, and then all of a sudden it breaks VWAP, it starts getting bought back up, and even past these levels back here, and they think, man, I better get out. And then finally it starts resolving, but wait, it pulls back, and it's just chop, and then finally we get a good dump here, and then we get another great dump here, and I totally missed out on this move, and I wish I'd caught it. I was in it, and I actually got stopped out, I think, right here. This is where actually, let me pull up my executions. I think I got stopped out right there when it came up to 181. Let me double check on this. Yep, on this candle right here. I told you this was it. This was where I got stopped out. And man, and it's crazy because I thought, just put it a little above 181. But I didn't, and I missed out on that entire move. That's right. I was in 25 shares. I took off some of my shares here, and then I averaged back in here because it looked like we were going to continue to go. But we, had to pull back to the 9 EMA, and I went ahead and got out before my break even because I had brought my average up to somewhere up here. But I'll tell you what, guys. Like I said, it's been a chop fest. It's been a chop fest in the open. We're used to seeing moves like this move right here. We're used to seeing stuff like this happen out of the open. But with the mid caps, the large caps, it hasn't been happening. It just hasn't. They have not been behaving the way that they typically do. And so, anyway, that's the red trade of the day, by the way. Boeing ended down $2.88. I had actually had a loss on it. I recovered some of the loss. And then, ended down $2.88 on that. RCL was another one where, it was kind of, I got short here, took profit here. It came back up here, and I got short again. And I guess I just didn't feel good about it, so I must have just gotten out break even. Must have seen something on the SPY or maybe the financial sector. I was watching XLF up here. I've got another window up here, trading view, where I've got, XLF, as you can see right there. But let me put that back up there. But that actually could have been a much better trade. I actually missed this one right here. I saw it when it was up to VWAP, and I said to myself, I would love to see when it gets up closer to these levels. Why? Because these levels right here we're going to be butting up against. Sorry, I pulled that out too much. These levels right here we're going to be butting up against all this area of consolidation here, and I just thought this would be a good place to at least start adding, and then I could add again up here. And then I probably would have had to get out after that if it continued to run against me. I mean, I might have added up to the $50 mark as well. You know, as long as the SPY was looking weak, but I at least wanted to start getting in with 100 shares up here. And what happened was I walked away. I had some other business I was attending to, and I should have set an alert. But I came back in here, and by the time I came back in like an hour later, it had already made this move up here and was already coming down here. And I was like, man, story of my life, right? But shoulda, woulda, coulda. Can't think too much in hindsight. AMD was pretty solid trade. I felt pretty good about it. I went short here. You can see I got out here, and then I got out here because it wasn't looking good. And I'm glad that I did because it came up. But then it got slammed right back down after touching off the 9 EMA. But like I said, look, guys, all this was chop. All this was chop. And it, you know, we were talking about it in the live stream today. And by the way, for those of you who are new to the channel, we do stream live right here on the channel pretty much Monday through Friday. And I did get a late start today. I try to be up and running by 9 o'clock, 9:05-ish. Today, I don't think I was up and running till maybe 10:15 after. So I apologize for that to all you regulars for that. But anyway, so I got in here, and then I got out some of my shares here. I believe I got out some, or I might have gotten out all of them. And then when it came up, I just added here, added again here, added again here, and got a beautiful move down here. And then I got stopped out here. And I hate that because, I mean, look at this move. Look at this move. You know, and so, you know, the timing for me was just off today. It was off on AMD and it was off on Boeing. You know, you can see Boeing. I got taken out right here just before the dump. AMD, I got taken out right here, basically just before the dump. So, you know, it's just very unfortunate because this P&L today could be reading much closer to the $300 mark had I been able to capitalize on these moves. You know, mainly with Boeing and AMD. DAL was one that I kind of got in, and I was impatient with it. I should have waited for it to resolve. You can see right here, it ended up resolving really well. Now it did chop around, and that might have been why. I can't really remember. I must have sat through some of this, and then when it popped back up, I got out break even. But I'll tell you what, again, it was a lot of chop. It looked like we were getting some momentum out the gates, but then just a lot of chop. And then finally we got more momentum all through down here. So made 50 cents on DAL. Basically didn't even pay for the trade, but 50 cents is 50 cents, right? FSLY was the other big one, and this was the one that just trying to be really patient on today. And it did basically the same thing that it did yesterday. It looked like it was going to go, and then it got this major buy up. Well, I got in here, and I should have averaged in again up here, but I was waiting for it to clear $78. I wanted it to clear $78, so I could have had a hundred shares with like a, I don't know, it would have been about a 77.10 average, I think. And then look at this beautiful move. I would have been able to catch such a beautiful move here. But on this 50 shares here, I was able to get out here and then here. It came back. I went short here, or I went short here. I went short here, and it came down a little, and then I went ahead and just got out. So again, and look at this. You know, came right back up and then eventually rolled over, and we got a nice flush. So the flushes, essentially, guys, the flushes are coming later in the day. They just are. And so I don't know. I'm really kind of at that place right now where I'm thinking, you know, you're probably better off just sitting on your hands and not trading the open. And I know I've talked about this many times, but it just becomes more and more clear to me. And you guys know how it is. I mean, it takes a real special kind of discipline to sit on your hands, especially when you know that you've traded this strategy so many times and it has made you so much money, you know, trading out the gates. But you know, I've got to constantly remind myself, like, it has not been working lately. It has not been working. I even know of some other very reputable day traders who have complained about the same thing with the large caps. how it's just not the same as it was. Not at the market open. Now, as you get into the day, it does tend to go a little bit more smoothly. And I'm not going to say everybody's been having this kind of trouble. Some people probably waited for this, for FSLY to do this because they saw what it did the last couple days, and they just thought, you know what, it's probably going to do it again, and they started buying it up. So, there's probably people with long bias positions that are doing fine on some of this. I've noticed that with a lot of stocks and the choppiness of a lot of stocks, there's been tons of short squeezes at the market open. So that tells you that, there's people like me who are really getting hammered a lot at the market open. And so if you're a short bias trader like myself, I don't know, maybe you're learning something in this here, but I'll tell you what, guys, it's been a ride for sure, but I do feel like the more that I go, or the more that I get into this, and the further along that I come in my trading career, spotting the ebbs and flows of the market and learning how to calculate things out and get a little bit better with my timing. I mean, that seems to be something that I'm just becoming. Let's just say this: I'm becoming more and more aware of. More and more aware of the importance of being able to read a near unreadable market, and we all know the story. I mean, we're in a very unprecedented time in stock market history. Even here, let me just go ahead and remove all these indicators. Let's just take a look at the SPY, for example. I mean, look what the SPY did. Look at this, and look at the history of the SPY. You don't see anything like this. I mean, look at that. Look at that correction. This sharp correction. And we've had a pretty solid V-shaped recovery on it. And right now, I think, it's kind of in a decision-making period right here where I think the Bears and the Bulls, they're at war right now. And I think the Bulls are trying to take over. I think the Bears are trying to take over. Are they going to win? I don't know. I mean, for all I know, this could be up to all-time highs, this time next month. But who knows? Who knows? We take it one day at a time and just continue to, watch the markets and trade our strategy the best way that we know how. And, recognize also, I think it's good for us to recognize also when we are part of the problem. You can't just blame everything on the market. And in the places that I know that I could be doing better is my risk management and with my patience. There's been several times where because of poor risk management, I took bigger losses than I needed to. Or I jumped in with bigger share size than I should have, because I had dollar signs in my eyes and I wanted to, I just wanted to get in and get out, get it done, like all the great day traders out there do, jump in and be done in 20 minutes and have made my $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, I admit there's been a lot of days like that. But then with the patience aspect of things, there's also been a lot of days where, I had a plan, I started executing my plan, but I wasn't patient enough to see it through. And had I been, I would have had much bigger gains. So I'm not trying to sit here. What I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to sit here and just blame it on the SPY and how we're in unprecedented times. I get that. I've been following other day traders. I know other day traders are doing just fine in these markets, and they're doing well. They're doing way better than I am. And yeah, sure, maybe they've got a lot more money and they're not as concerned, and and that definitely helps when you've got a lot more money and you've got big accounts and that sort of thing. I mean, that definitely helps with the trader psychology. You're not as under the gun to make things work. So I do recognize that, but at the same time, what I'm saying is there are traders who are doing well, and a lot of the reasons that I'm not, these might be some different market conditions, and there might be some truth to that. But like I said, I have to self-reflect, and I have to know where I can make changes on my own, and to my strategy, and to my mental discipline and my emotional control. I have to be aware of that. I have to be willing to admit that I'm a big part of the problem, And so, but at the same time, we can't beat ourselves up too much, and I try not to. It's not like it's just been horrible, but it's just been tough. It's just been tough, But I'm learning, I'm growing every day, And to those of you who are aspiring day traders, and you're coming into the markets, and you're watching how this thing works, I really do hope that you're learning from my mistakes, and you're learning from my lessons here, and that you're getting a real, true, honest to goodness perspective of what day trading really is like for the average Joe. It can be a fight. It can be a tug of war. It can be a struggle. It's not always as easy as some of the big pros make it out to be, but it is possible. And it's good to be a part of a community. We've got a great community here, so if you want to join us, again, we stream live right here on the channel Monday through Friday. Try to start around 9 a.m. And we got a really good, solid community of traders. And I appreciate these guys. And they give me motivation, and they make me want to be better. And it gives me something to look forward to more than just trading. I get to interact with other people that are doing the same thing as me. And that's a very helpful thing, too. And to those of you who are regulars, I'll say this. If I end up doing really, really well with this, which I haven't been lately, but I think I started the channel off pretty good, and we started with a bang, and we were rocking and rolling for a little while there. But the slump that I've been in has been this is kind of going on a multi-month slump. Yes, May was a great month, but I gave it all back in June. So that's why I say a multi-month slump, because pretty much ever since March, late March, I'll say mid to late March, things have been rough. Maybe early April on up to now, things have been rough. But to those of you who are regulars and you've been following me since day one, hopefully you guys will get the joys of watching the progress here, just as I get the joys of watching you guys progress. I love, coming on the channel and people saying, hey man, it was good trading with you today, Matt. And, people that come on the recaps and check out the recaps, and they're like, yeah, I ended the day up, $300 today after fees and commissions, or $1,000 after fee. I love hearing that stuff. I love reading that stuff. And it just further fuels me to want to do better. And it helps me to know that other people are getting value out of the channel too. So anyway, guys, enough babbling here. I appreciate y'all taking time to come check out the recap. Again, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And to everybody else, I'll see you in the live stream tomorrow. Take care.